Hello, Bro Steph here with Prophecy Insights. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast today. I wanted to just share some information that I shared, probably about 4 months ago, maybe 6, on one of my video podcasts that, by the way, you can find by going to brosteph.com. brosteph.com. I was talking about in that video the fact that Israel has a tremendous amount of natural gas. And once the COVID lockdowns occurred and the price of oil started escalating, Russia is the provider, by the way, for natural gas to Europe. Well, it's getting very expensive for the Europeans to buy natural gas from Russia. And my thought was on this video I did was that Israel may consider selling its natural gas to Europe. And, a couple of years ago, Israel wanted to build a pipeline that went under the Mediterranean Sea over to Cyprus, and then from Cyprus, the natural gas could be delivered to different parts of Europe. Our President Biden shut that down and pressured Israel to not do that because, of course, he can't stand fossil fuels. And he wants everything to be green. Well, recently, in the last few days, we have found out, and it's being discussed now in the European Union, that Israel and Europe have made a deal to purchase Israeli natural gas. Now, that's good for Israel, right? And it's good for Europe because Israel will sell the natural gas to Europe at a discount. But here's the problem. As the Jewish state starts to sell its natural gas to Europe, that's going to cut into the revenue sources that Russia has. And Putin can't afford to lose money at this point because of the war in Ukraine. So he needs all the money he can get his hands on. And basically, there's only a few revenue streams that Russia is able to make money with. One is the selling of arms. 2, the selling of oil and natural gas. That's about it with Russia. And I believe Russia does also export wheat. So, what if Putin starts to lose money and begins to consider stopping Israel from selling its natural gas to Europe because it's now cutting into his revenue base so much that he decides after the Ukraine war, and it will come to an end at some point, what if he decides to invade Israel, to take their oil and natural gas from them? There's a prophecy in Ezekiel 38 that talks about this in very, very explicit detail. And the prophecy was written over 2,500 years ago by the prophet Ezekiel. And this prophecy that Ezekiel wrote is so exact in its detail that it's caused many Bible prophecy enthusiasts and teachers to consider the Ezekiel 38 prophecy and when that might take place. And we're beginning to think that we may be living in those days where the Ezekiel 38 war could happen. The long and short of it is Russia, Iran, and an alliance of Arab and North African countries decide to attack Israel on the mountains of Israel, which would be the Golan Heights, because Iran is now completely fixed and situated in Syria, which is only about 45 to 48 miles away from the northern border of Israel. So they would all come up, this horde would come up through the Golan Heights. And I believe, as many prophecy experts believe, that it would be on the mountains of the Golan Heights that the Lord would become so enraged and angry that he fights this battle for Israel and destroys the armies that would try to invade Israel. And they end up, the armies end up going back toward, they retreat to where they came from. And it's becoming very interesting to watch and pray over what the Lord may be doing in Israel and through that Ezekiel 38 prophecy. It could happen in our lifetimes. And if it does, it's going to be an amazing biblical event that will get the entire world's attention. So let me encourage you to read Ezekiel 38, study it, get to know it, and then do your own homework on the natural gas deal that the European Union and Israel is in the process of making, and see what you think. Is it a puzzle where the pieces could be coming together? I think it is. Again, thank you for tuning in today to Prophecy Insights with me, Bro Steph, your watchman. See you on another podcast. Bye for now.